Why persistence matters. That's the conversation today for faith-based business coaches on the podcast. Let's jump in. BJ O'Neill here with the Business Coaching Success Podcast. So glad you're here, where I share with you strategies, tools, and tips to be able to grow your business coaching practice to six figures and beyond as a Christian business coach. Let's jump in. Well, welcome. Glad that you are here, part of the podcast. Man, I got a really good, I pray that it's a good word for you on something that's very foundational, but is probably one of the biggest reasons that coaches struggle. We're going to jump into that in just a moment. Regardless if you are on our coaching team, or perhaps you're taking a peek at joining us, you're looking at some information, you might get some emails from us. Regardless, at some point, the best thing to do is just to have a simple conversation, just so we can kind of share with you exactly how our entire done with you collaborative system works, so that you can make a decision if you believe it's worth learning more about or not. You can go to businesscoachmastery.com. That's businesscoachmastery.com. Get all the resources there. Find a time to schedule a conversation, and then we'll give you some info to go through. We'll chit-chat with you a little bit, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so I get the question often, just on two fronts. One, like, what are the challenges that a coach is going to face? And two, like, what are the main focal points as a coach? Now, there's a lot of the main, meaning like what do I need to focus on in truly building a long-lasting, sustainable, high-income business coaching practice. So there's one element I'm going to discuss today, broken into two parts. Why we don't follow it, what happens when we don't, what happens when we do. I guess that's three, not just two, right? I want you to think about it for a moment. In Luke 18, I think it's Luke 18. I got my notes right here. I should actually look at them. Let's see here. Am I right about Luke? Yeah. Luke 18, Jesus is talking about a widow who is knocking on the door of a judge to essentially kind of review her case, all right? She knocks once, nothing, two, nothing, three, nothing, and so on. Finally, the judge answers her, deals with the case, and so on. Mainly in that context, he wanted her to go away. Now, I don't believe that Jesus is talking about, us being annoying. I think the message that he's suggesting is about persistence. As a matter of fact, let's see here in Ecclesiastes 11:6, it says, "Plant your seed in the morning and keep working until evening, because you don't know which effort will succeed, or maybe they both will." All right. And so it's a farming analogy, right? It's all about we plant, but if we just plant and we don't ever water, and certainly we got to water more than once, we got to water twice, three times. Why? Because it is the watering in that case that actually does the job of helping the seed to be able to grow. So what's the point? Well, when you look at building anything, okay, I don't care what it is, when you look at building anything, you have to have a level of consistency of outreach for conversations. Now, we're big believers in, while that, there's always a selling apparatus to growing any type of business. Doesn't matter what it is. But I hyperly encourage you to do this in a manner that it's all about adding value, solving problems. Because if you reach out to even people that you know, if you reach out to them in a more of a salesy manner, it's just going to improve friction for building a relationship. Okay, and so a couple of things when we're doing that, and we have the goal of adding value, solving problems, we're actually looking to build a relationship, because the relationship is what's going to plant the seeds, and we're watering them all the time for growing a long-lasting client opportunity. I mean, if you were to ask the question, like, what's the average that a coach, keeps a client, and there's just no real number. There really isn't. I wish there was. There's not. However, I mean, when done correctly, and you're getting results and there's actual relationship, it's pretty normal to have a 3 to 5 year run. Now, lots of things can, speak into that. The business owner, has life issues, either ailing parents, or if they're younger people and they, get pregnant, or they decide to sell the business and so on. That's not the point of the conversation today. That's a different conversation. But we're talking about building relationships for long term. But there's one big thing in the way that when you do it right can actually be the reason why you're successful, and it is about the persistence part. So let's say that, let's see, how can I frame this? Let's say that we're going to go to a networking, a business function in the community, right? Very effective if you do it correctly, which is what we train, by the way, in our system. We have a very effective strategies for doing things like this, okay? And then, of course, your advisor that works with you one-on-one helps you through these, how to build them correctly. Let's say we're going to go. Let's say it's a, early morning breakfast style. It's a 60 to 90 minute thing. And I meet somebody there that potentially could be a prospect. Let's just, for conversation's sake, let's say that they own a pest control company. All right. Well, we connected, I exchange information, and we kind of get the signal that, hey, they could be interested in, a conversation. I've not pushed on them too much, blah, 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 blah. The point is, there's some relational equity there. Now I can follow up. All right. Here's where most coaches will miss it. One, they'll wait for a long time to follow up. Like if I'm going to that networking event in this example, I'm going to follow up that afternoon with at least with a, hey, great to connect with you. It was cool talking about XYZ. Look forward to connect with you in the future, or something like that. And the bigger point is I have immediate response, because they're likely going to respond immediately to, was we just happened. If I wait 3 or 4 days, that response goes like 70% chance of not getting a response. They're busy. And we don't know them that well, but we just got to know them just now. So therefore, it improves the response rate. The bigger one is the consistency of following up, just like Luke 18, keep knocking on the door. And that's where most coaches will stop. They'll reach out maybe twice. Some might go 3 times. And that's why nothing ever facilitates. We don't ever get a relationship. So if you were to ask the question, okay, then if 2 or 3 isn't enough, what is? Well, here's the goal. It's 8 to 12. And here's what happens. And you may hear that and you go, whoa, but you got to build in reality. Everybody's busy. And as much as you can probably help them, obviously, with your resources, your tools and structure, it doesn't mean that you're number one on their radar. So when you reach out to them, you text them, email, whatever, it doesn't mean that they don't have the intention to respond, but they got spinning plates going on. And so we have to have a paradigm shift in understanding that rather than going, hey, I hope that they respond right away, we understand that they're not going to respond right away. It's not the ones that do respond super unusual. Again, not because they're not interested. They're busy. They got a lot going on. Many of them, though, have the intention to respond. They just don't. And one day becomes 4 days, and it just takes a long time. And so we want to have a plan to persistently knock on the door. And so we set out, number one, again, going back to my example in the networking event, I meet the individual, they own the pest control. I know I'm going to now reach out 8 to 12 times over the next, call it 6 weeks or so, maybe longer, maybe shorter, just depends upon different parameters. But regardless of that, and I'm going to go into my CRM, my customer relationship management tool. In our world, it's called a focused business suite, a full-blown back end to manage the business. So we talk about efficiencies. Now I'm going to set up a number of tasks, probably 3 to 4 in the beginning, and then I'll add them as I go. And so I'll reach out, I'll text. I've now made that note. That's in their record. I've set a reminder to reach back out in 3 days. We'll call it. Again, I'm giving you examples, although that's pretty normal, because if you spread it out, once a week, again, you have too much space, and that also adds friction. The first 2 to 3 need to have the frequency within a couple of week time frame before you start to expand the knocking on the door. All right. So there's that. So let's just say that I reached out today. We had the event. We connected. I reached out today. That's number one. And of course, here's the other part of it. I need to have a goal of why am I reaching out to them? And that's to either invite them to a coffee, invite them to a lunch or a phone call or whatever to talk further about, what's going on with their business and how I might be able to, give them some insight, although I wouldn't even say that part yet. And we kind of go from there, but we have a reason to reach out to them. Or there could be other things. I might be doing a workshop in a couple of weeks, and I've decided to invite them to my workshop. That's the reason why I'm reaching out. That's the adding value part of, getting them moving forward. And, arguably workshops are amazing. So I set the reminder. I get the reminder one day. I go in there. Well, this time I might throw them an email. In other words, having exposure in different channels, super important. So text messaging, email, placing the actual phone call, maybe even a LinkedIn request, although I would do that pretty early on as I've just met them because that's a very natural step in the business world. Send them a text and also, throwing them a LinkedIn message. Again, nothing brand new that you already know, except for the unfortunate part is a lot of coaches miss this part. And they let a lot of, grass grow in between their feet, if you will, because they're not taking action and they're not moving forward. I'm going to set up I understand that I'm going to go 8 to 12 times over a period of time and following up. And until then, I'm not going to stop. And I've shifted my paradigm to understand it's going to require that level of effort. That's the persistence of the knocking. Okay. And so it's not rocket science at the end of the day. A lot of coaches, and hear me clear, and I want to be very, very transparent here. The coach that's more persistent, I don't care how you outreach. I don't care if you're going to networking events, going to your sphere of influence, doing joint venture opportunities. It doesn't matter. The one that's persistent is one that wins. I actually had a conversation with a coach today. They've joined our team in building their own coaching team, which we have a program for that. And he just made the comment that, I haven't really leaned in the way I really want to. And this is a skilled individual, by the way, who's in the coaching industry, that they know what they're doing in this case. I haven't really just leaned in the way I need to, I want to. I'm the one who's done it to myself. And so if you're really asking, like, where are all the friction area, whatever, it's just our lack of following through and knocking on the door again. That's it. Now, that's not to sound like I'm making it simple, but I'm telling you, you can be lesser skilled and be really good at being persistent and knocking on the door multiple times over a period of time, 8 to 12, that's the number. You're going to get an opportunity. That's it. End of story. You will get opportunity. Does it make everything just like magically simple? Well, of course not. But nothing will. And anybody who tells you that is lying to you. But you're going to get opportunity because you can't work on the game, if you will, if you don't have opportunities, and you're not going to have opportunities if you're not knocking on the door. Now, let me say this really quick before we move on. Sure, there are some of the strategies for building a relationship. It's not that one is necessarily better than another. It's that some of them hold more weight. Here's an example. Like I don't cold call, never have cold call in my life, but we all know it flat works. You can get the home magazine that comes in your mailbox or the Val pack that comes in your mailbox, and you could call those individuals. You'll have more on your hands. And again, it's a different style. It's not my style, but you can do it, but you can't just call them once. So you place that against doing a workshop, high value, right? I've built an entire career doing live events, being in front of people, teaching and training by far. But there's work to do to set one up. You got to have a venue. Somehow you have food. You got to invite people. You got to be prepared with a slide deck. So again, it's not that it's better, although except for the weight shifts, because now you're adding value. And when someone comes in that room and they see you teaching, it doesn't improve just the social psychology of social proof. Versus if I'm cold calling people outright, I do have to have a higher skill in the calling. And so regardless, though, of what you use, it's about the frequency of persistence on knocking on the door. That's the bigger point. Like any coach that says that hey, what do I need to do, whatever, be frequent with your consistent, regardless of the strategies of how you build relationships. Even the people that you know, past colleagues and all that kinds of stuff. It doesn't mean that they're just going to pick up the phone. That's the reason why the frequency of outreaches on knocking on the door matters. So you'll make your life, if you care about your future and you want to build a legitimate business coaching practice, knock on the door repeatedly up to 8 to 12 times. And here's what's going to happen. If they don't respond, it doesn't mean they're not interested. It just means not now. You set it up to do it again in another 4, maybe 5 months, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever, and you do it again. I can't tell you how many times personally I've been through that. And that second round, even that third round, that's when they engaged. Now, you would also want to put them, or I would encourage you to put them in a funnel to where they are receiving consistent things about you coaching. And, if you sent them 20 and they saw 3 of them, you're still on their radar. Persistence matters. Consistency matters. Knocking on the door matters more than once and more than twice. You got to be prepared to do it 8 to 12 times and shift your mindset to understand. And the coach that does it, you don't need more prospects. You just need to be more consistent with the prospects that you have. There you go. Until next time, take care.